Helping the community is always amazing. And I especially kids in the community, I love that. So, but like honestly, like your pure enthusiasm, like how passionate you are about your cause and what you do is amazing. It's incredible. Love, I love when communities can give back to the kids because it's our future. So I think that's really important, and I don't think that people focus on that enough. Yeah, so this is my fifth marathon, my third Boston Marathon. I ran in 2018 for the first time, my first marathon ever, my first Boston. And it was the weather was not great. But I got through it. I had a wonderful running partner that we stuck through it the whole time together. And so then I decided that the next year I wanted to do it again because I wanted the Boston Marathon experience that I had been like hoping for, that everybody dreams of. And so we had the same weather forecast, but it ended up being a lot better. And then the past 2 years, I took 2020 off because I had my daughter. And then the past 2 years, I've done the Tough Ruck Marathon. So I went with I think I had a 22-pound ruck each time, and I did a full marathon rucking, which is a humbling experience to ruck with family members, Gold Star family members, and everything. And so that was really, really, really neat. But I always had it in my head that I would run the 2023 Boston Marathon because I wanted to do the 10-year anniversary of the bombings. My husband and I met in 2013, and actually, like the first time that we were long distance dating, and the first time I sent him back on a plane was the day of the 2013 Boston marathons. I sent him on a plane to Boston, and I just remember thinking, oh my gosh, like what is happening? I have no idea. So I've always had it in my head that I'm going to run the 10-year for a purpose. And so, running not only for hoops and homework, but running for everybody who was affected by that day. Keep going, and you hope the weather will change as like the week goes on, and it just didn't. It was I think I blacked out part of it, and I'm pretty sure like I don't remember. I know that I remember somebody, I was in Wellesley, and somebody handed me, this is going to sound so weird. They handed me a warm banana, and it was the best thing I've ever eaten. It was so warm, and I was like, "Oh, it's warming my entire body." It's like the weirdest thing, but that's like one of the core memories I have from that race. But then I just remember my running partner when we got into Boston, she like literally went blind. Like she couldn't see, and she's like, I have a migraine, I can't see. And I was like, let's get you to a tent. And she's like, no, I'm finishing. And so like hand in hand, like we crossed the finish line like together. And it just, I think having her there with me, I don't think I would have finished without her, and like vice versa. And it bonded us for life. We were just together, and like I was like, I'm not leaving your side. Like if you want me to go to a tent, like I'll go with you. Like, and she was like, no, we're finishing. We've come this far. Like we have to finish. Yeah, pure insanity. I don't know. I just there's nothing like crossing the finish line of a marathon that like just brings you back. Even when I train, I like the last like I don't know 5 minutes of my run, I'm always thinking like, okay, I'm crossing the finish line now. I'm always like imagining that, and it's just like so euphoric. And so I just keep doing it. I don't know why. It is constant. Like I know when I get up in miles, I'll be gone for a long time during the days on a Sunday or Saturday. Um and right now I'm sick, so I took my long run off this week, but I'm hoping to jump right back in this weekend and try to get back on that horse. But I'm super excited to train. Like there's it's funny. I told my husband, I was like, I forget how much I eat when I start training for a marathon. I'm just so hungry all the time. So I'm looking forward to that part. That part's great. I can eat whatever I want and just go out there and run. It's great. I mean, the mental, it's real. Like, you don't think that, like, you're gonna get in your head. You're like, "It's just running." But man, you hit, like, Heartbreak Hill, and it is all mental. I would say that Heartbreak Hill is, like, 50-50. It's 50% physical and it's 50% mental. Because you already know in your head that it's coming, and then you hit it, and it's not just one hill. It's, like, hills. And so, that is so, so mental. But, like, once you get into Boston and you know you're, like, so close. It's so worth it. You know, you start it really is kind of like this high. Like you kind of start up on this high, like in Hopkinton, both like elevation wise and like mentally, you're like hyped up, you're ready to go, and you're cruising down the hill thinking, I could do this for like 26 more miles. This is great. And then you kind of hit that first hill of the over the overpass, and you don't think it's a hill going over the overpass. But that's really where Heartbreak Hill starts. You go over that first hill there, and you're just like, oh, wait a minute, okay. And it literally your emotions follow the hills. So, oh my gosh, you really have to watch yourself because you get so excited because everybody around you is running, and like I like have to like tell myself to like really slow down and take my time. And I think that's another thing that's so helpful about running on the course is like you experience that hill and so you know that the day of the race that like this is what's going to happen, like prep yourself, pull back a little bit because you got a long way to go. Yeah, can't wait. I am like thrilled to be running again. 14. I was actually training for a marathon. It wasn't Boston. I was training for another marathon. I think it might have been Rhode Island. And the day I had trained all winter long, and it was probably about 3 weeks after the Boston Marathon. So I was like kind of on the training schedule with everybody. And I ran 20 miles that day. I did my 20-mile run. And then I found out that I was pregnant with my son that very day. And so I had to put my marathon on hold, which was a bummer because it was going to be my first one. I had never done a full marathon. And I was like, oh man, this like, I'm super excited, but I was like, I cannot run this marathon. So, and then I got pregnant again with my next son, and he was born in 2016. So finally, I was able to get my family life together, raise my two boys, and then it was kind of cool because they got to see me run the marathon for the first time, and they got to, even though it was like pouring down rain, they were still there. They were out there. So it's kind of, I'm kind of glad I had to wait a little bit. And they've seen me run and they watched me train and they saw me do the tough rock, and they've been there every race that I've done now. So it's really kind of special. I want to show them what it's like the results of like putting in hard work to something and like having those wonderful results, and like also like introducing like physical activity and being active, and having my kids be outside all the time. And my both my sons will actually go running with me, and we'll do a little interval training. So it's kind of special. It's kind of like our thing now. So my daughter just turned 2. So this will be her first, well, I guess last year, but it'll kind of be her first experience, like knowing what I'm doing and kind of being there. So that'll be cool. She's wild. She has no idea what's going on. Oh my gosh. It was like, it like just melts you and you're just like, this is what I did this for. Oh, I love it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm originally from Ohio. Yep. I grew up there and I moved here in 2013 to Newton. Um, and then eventually moved to Framingham. But yeah, I got married in 2014. And my son was born, my oldest, RJ. He is 8. He is an avid hockey player. And then I also have my middle child, Ollie. He's 6, also an avid hockey player. It runs in the family, I guess. And then I have my daughter, Orla. She's 2. She is crazy and wild, and I'm pretty sure she's going to be a hockey player. I am married to a Newton cop. He's a police officer for the city of Newton. His name's Ronnie. He's wonderful. He supports me in all of my training, which is fantastic. And we have two amazing dogs, Allie and Louie Cooper. And so, yeah, that's a little bit about me. Well, firstly, when I moved to Boston, I worked for Riverside Community Care as a mental health counselor. So I worked there for a few years, had two of my kids, went back to work at Liberty Mutual. And then when my daughter was born, I actually decided to stay home again for a couple of reasons. I love this age. I love being able to be home. And if, my lifestyle allows me to, then I'm going to do it. And two, COVID kind of hit and it just took us all by storm. And I was like, well, I think I'm going to stay home now. And so I did. And I'm loving it. I don't know. I'll probably go back to work next year, but I'm just not sure yet. All right. One of my training secrets is I run with a baked potato, like in my pouch, because it has more potassium than a banana. And I kind of get hungry on my long runs, but it has proved to be incredible. I do it while I'm training and I do it during the marathon as well. So baked potato. It's tried and true and trusted. I live by it.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.